I am Joe Jordan. I was born in a little town in Alabama. It's called Union Springs. However, I am an Army brat, so I grew up all over the country. I got an opportunity to live in Germany and stuff like that. I am a father for a living. I've been a stay-at-home dad since 2014, whenever my wife got deployed. So that's basically what I do. My first meet I ever did was in 1997. So I'm not sure how many years that is as far as I've been powerlifting. It was like 25, 26. So it started out as like I just wanted to be strong, and I kind of fell into powerlifting. Didn't really do another meet until 2001 because we were living in the Caribbean. When I got back stateside, we were in Georgia, and that's kind of where I found geared lifting, but it was single ply. After moving to Florida, found some guys at a steel mill gym that Ronnie Paris and Dutch Flesh that kind of introduced me to multiply, and I guess we just kind of went from there. Currently, I was in Orlando Barbell in Orlando for 14 years. We now live in Ormond Beach, which is right next to Daytona, and I train at Perfect Storm Hardcore Gym with Daniel Tenejero, Mianna Albersworth, Seth Albersworth, Dan Bell. So there's a large group of people there for me to learn from. elitefts was probably around 2006 is whenever I was brought onto the team. I've been on the team almost 15 years now, but since Brian Schwab was sponsored by elitefts, he kind of sent Dave a letter or email that I had the potential to be a team member. I filled out the application and was lucky enough to be chosen to be part of the team, and I haven't really looked back since. It's been an amazing experience being able to be around all of you, all of the athletes, the strength athletes that have been on the team. Just the experiences I've gotten to learn from people and be able to train with people. It's been pretty awesome. I've gotten the opportunity, like I mentioned, to work with Seth and Danny a little bit. So I've always had issues with my bench press, struggling with the bench shirt and learning and how to get better carryover. So since I've been able to work with them, just the bar path, like they've helped me find a different bar path. My wrists, being able to keep my wrists in the correct position. So today, it all kind of came together and clicked whenever I took the bar to bench with Seth being there and coaching me down. The wrists stayed where they were supposed to be. Bar path was better. I didn't dump the bar at the bottom like I have been. Like I would dump it to get it to touch because I've always struggled touching. So in this new bench shirt, I'm not fighting at the bottom. So it's a shame it's taken this long of this many years of powerlifting for it to finally click, but it finally did. It finally came together to where it felt stable and strong and moved well. I went to the University of Florida, graduated in '97 with a leisure service management degree because I wanted to be able to be in sports, but at the same time work with kids because I really love kids. That worked out for an extended period of time. I ended up working with Oviedo Recreation and Parks most recently, where I was there for almost 3 years. But my wife in 2014 got deployed overseas. So we had a veterinary clinic that I needed to take care of. So I quit as the recreation coordinator, so that I could manage the business as well as take care of my kids. So as far as like that, my being able to stay home with my kids and become a stay-at-home dad has meant the world to me, because now it allowed me the opportunity to be active in their lives, so I could volunteer, spend time with band camp. They were doing dance recitals, gymnastics, volleyball, anything where I'm actually able to interact with them, I take the opportunity to do. I wouldn't take it back for the world. It's meant the world to me to be able to have this impact on them. My oldest is now, she's 20. She's at University of North Florida. It's been difficult for me to deal with because I'm so used to having her at home, and now that we live in Daytona, and she's still in Orlando. She's just doing virtual school, but being away from her has been difficult for me to deal with because I've always had my kids with me. Next oldest is 17. She's a senior. So the trying to get used, and I was just talking about this with Brian, is that trying to get used to the idea of her not being home too makes me a little bit more possessive of their time, or trying to be more interactive with them, because I know that the time is shortening with being able to interact with them. Youngest being 12, she's still a joy to be around. She's fun to play with and interact, and like her giggle is infectious. But I often sit and think about what I'm going to do whenever they're gone, because they are my life. They're basically what day in and day out is to make sure they're being cared for, that their homework is done, they're fed and they're eating and they're up and doing everything that they're supposed to do. So I don't know. I don't know what lies ahead. I know that things are going to change for me. I know I'll be expected to do a lot more housework, which I'm not looking forward to. But other than that, I don't know. I hope that I know I'm getting older, so powerlifting will probably be a little bit more prevalent as to what I'm interacting to keep myself busy. Just don't know to what extent or what level I'll still be able to maintain. But I don't foresee myself stopping or pulling back. So I guess right now in open, 275. Hasn't been great the last couple of years, so my ranking has obviously fallen. But as far as like a masters, I guess the masters one, which would be the 40 to 45, I think I'm ranked number 6 in the world for all time, behind some really impressive guys that I've always followed, like Chuck Vogelpohl, Jim Grandick, Charles Bailey, guys like that, which have always been guys I've looked up to. Currently at 45 or 46 to the 50 or 49, I think I'm ranked number 6 or 7 all time, which I'm hoping to bump up because I just got a PR squat like I guess last year. So with everything going the way it is right now, my goal is to be in the top 5 all time for as Masters 2. In open, the plan is to qualify for the WPO at my age. So as long as I can get everything to fall into order, like I should have a PR squat, PR bench, deadlift is kind of unknown right now, but just whatever it takes in order to get me on the WPO platform. Like everything that, like I mentioned, like everything revolves around my kids.
Yeah.
I know that, like we were talking about it earlier downstairs, is that, people often ask, what's your legacy? What do you want your legacy to be once you're not doing this anymore? As far as like the powerlifting side, I want my legacy to be that I was a good person and that I would help anybody that wanted help, whether it be with gear or training or just interacting with their kids. As far as like as a person outside of powerlifting, I want to be like, and most people already know this, but I want to be known as a good dad, a good father, someone that they were able to come to, somebody was able to pass on, like the way that you like respect for others and manners and how to direct and talk to one another. So that's something, and people may already know this about me, but that's what I want my legacy to be, is something that I pass on. Like I know, like Brian and I were talking downstairs, like he remembers a conversation that we had 6 or 7 years ago about powerlifting and your family. And powerlifting is important, but it's a small speck of time in our lives as opposed to our families. So spending time with your kids and your wife or your husband or your significant others, because that's going to reflect more on you, in the grand scheme of things, as opposed to how much you squatted or benched or deadlifted. So I guess that's what I want. That's one thing I would want somebody or anybody that doesn't know me to know about me, is that I put a lot of emphasis on being with my family and my kids.